Today we're going to talk about something essential for every classic car owner to know: how to safely jack up your car. In this case specifically, a Jaguar XK. Too often I've seen damage done to cars by jacking them up incorrectly. Bent sills, damaged fuel tanks, even on one occasion a damaged sump. You've got to really think about where you're putting your jack. Whether you're changing a flat tyre, accessing your battery or doing some general maintenance, it is essential to know how to safely jack up your car. Before we go on, a quick safety warning. It can be dangerous to lift a car. You should never get under a car that isn't properly supported by an axle stand. And if you're unsure of what you're doing, contact a trusted professional, get them to help you. If you're in an unsafe situation, contact a recovery service to come and change your wheel for you or get you out of trouble. This is an original style jack that came with an XK in period. It went through a hole in the floor and slotted into the chassis outrigger. I would not recommend you use one of these. So now let's go through what equipment you'll need to jack up your car. First of all, I'd recommend a pair of gloves just to keep your hands clean. A kneeling mat like this one will save your knees. They will thank you, and it's easy to fit in the boot. We recommend a compact scissor jack like this, which again is easy to store in your boot. If you're working in a workshop setting, a trolley jack and axle stand like this are very useful. Most come with a nice rubber pad to protect your chassis. If not, you can use a block of wood or a bit of cardboard just to stop it doing damage to the underside. So, when it comes to time to jack up the car, it's important to know where to jack it and almost more importantly, where not to jack it up. Do not jack it up on the bottom of the sills, the doors, underneath the fuel tank here, or on the engine sump. I would always recommend jacking it up on the flat part of the chassis just before it starts to slope up, which is almost in line with the back edge of your front wheel arch, or for jacking up the rear, just at the front of where the rear leaf spring mounts. This is a really strong point. I always suggest that you jack one corner at a time. So the correct place to jack up your XK on the front is on the flat part of the chassis just before it starts to slope upwards, and at the rear, where the rear leaf spring mounts into the chassis, is nice and strong. So now it's time to do the actual job. Car needs to be in gear, handbrake on. If possible, chock the wheels so the car can't roll. So we take our jack and our bit of wood to protect the chassis, not essential but always useful. We're going to slide our jack underneath until it reaches the chassis. Then we're going to get our jack handle and we're going to start winding and wind and wind. As you wind it up, ensure that you keep looking back to make sure the jack is still in the correct position. Now, I can feel the weight of the car is just being taken up on the jack, so I'm just going to look around. I'm going to make sure that the jack is positioned nice and centrally underneath the chassis, which it is. And we're just going to watch as the suspension lifts and the wheel comes up. And there you have it. The car is up and the wheel is off the ground just far enough to change a wheel. If you're going to work on the car, you'll want to put an axle stand underneath it to support it. The position of this really depends on the job you're doing. If you want some advice on that, drop something in the comments and we'll try to help you. Once you're finished with whatever you're doing, it's time to lower the car back down. Ensure if you've had the wheel off that it's fitted back on properly. If you've been working on the car, make sure there's nothing underneath it that it's going to hit and ensure you are safely out of the way. With a scissor jack like this, you wind it back down. With a trolley jack, you twist the handle to lower it down. With a trolley jack, make sure you twist it very gently because sometimes they can come crashing down quite quickly. So we just hook that back in and we wind the handle in the opposite direction to bring it back down. And then we pull our jack back out. I do hope you found that helpful. If you did, please do share it with other XK owners and don't forget to like, subscribe and follow. We're going to be doing a follow-up video on how to fit your spare wheel in case of a flat tyre. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.